Let's get into the news tonight.
Let's do it.
Tonight is, boy, I tell you, this is heartbreaking. This is the 3rd year anniversary of the pullout of Afghanistan, the botched.
Has it already been that long?
3 years ago. It's unbelievable. 3 years ago, 13 service members were killed during the botched Afghanistan withdrawal. Kamala boasted about being, quote, the last person in the room when the decisions were made. And we're going to say their names tonight. I'm going to try my best to say their names, but we're going to remember them. Yohani Rosero, Picardo, Nicole L.G., Darren T. Hoover, Hunter Lopez, Dagan W. Page, Humberto A. Sanchez, David L. Espinazo, Jared M. Schmitz, Riley J. McCollum, Dylan R. Marola, Kareem M. Naku, Maxton W. Sobiak, and Ryan C. Knaus. And this right here was the video from CNN. I want you to hear this.
Biden always said that he wants you to be the last person in the room, particularly for big decisions, just as he was for President Obama. He just made a really big decision. Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
Biden always.
Now, here's my question. Do you think that's going to be shown anywhere else? Do you think that during this election that's going to be shown anywhere else? Here are the names. We read the names. Here are the people. And I want to point out something else too, Sandy, is that we talk a lot about illegal aliens crossing our border.
Yes.
Now, but these are American citizens here that gave their life. But I want you to look at their names. Their names are proof that when you do things the right way, there are patriots from all over the world that love this country and love freedom. A true American is not against people coming into our country. We are for that. That's what our country is about. And these are heroes. And these names will not be read anywhere on the secular media. No, and today, Donald J. Trump, who is not the president, current president, went to the tomb of the unknown soldier and did the act of the president, walked with the military, set the wreath at the tomb of the unknown while the names of these men and women were called. Kamala was nowhere to be found. Joe Biden was still on his second vacation since the convention. It is an absolute travesty.
My goodness. Yeah, we definitely needed some representation from the upper echelons of our government. And, wow. Having been to the tomb of the unknown soldier, that is such a riveting thing to experience. The silence and the respect, the honor that everyone that's there is hopefully willing to display, but also highly suggested that you do so by those who are in charge. But we did need representation from our leader.
So this is today. President Trump in Arlington National Cemetery was there today to commemorate the troops lost during the botched Biden-Harris Afghanistan withdrawal. Biden, bored, staring at his watch. You remember that?
Yes.
When they was bringing the bodies off?
Yes.
I mean, this was 3 years ago.
I think it infuriated some of the families, too.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
I mean, it infuriated Americans because, here you are standing and you're looking at your watch. Two of the most disrespectful things you can ever do when you are in a situation where people are watching your reaction is to look at your watch and to look at your phone. When you pull your phone out, I'm telling you that is the immediate statement. You could care less what I'm saying right now. And I'm telling you, this is the contrast. This is the contrast. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Look at that.
He's not even the president, but he was there. He's campaigning all over, giving interviews like crazy all over. Yeah. And Donald J. Trump made sure that he was at the Arlington National Cemetery. You can say what you want to say, but I'm going to tell you something. That's a patriot. Mm-hmm. That's a patriot.
That contrast is going to be mild compared to the ramping up of contrast that we're going to continue to have on the political front.
How in the world can you, as Kamala Harris, not be there? How's no one around? They're so full of themselves and they're so confident that their plan. Do you realize she still hasn't been interviewed?
36 days.
Still hasn't been interviewed.
36 days since.
But it's working.
It's working.
According to the secular media.
They got their joy back, and
one poll came out today. She's leading by 7 points nationally.
You believe that?
No, I don't believe it. But I know that we're being programmed. But I'm telling you, for the mind-numb robots out there, it's working.
It's working.
They're just like, hey, don't put her in front of anybody. And then, of course, now she's trying to change the rules on the debate. And Donald Trump is, wanted to do three debates. She's only agreed to one. And he has come back and said, look, you either agree to the terms that I agreed with on Biden, since you're saying that I got to stick to the date and all that and the network. Yep. I just won't even do it. So we may not have a debate again.
Crazy. Like you said, they're just going to stick with this program, and the other side's going to continue experiencing the joy. We're not going to have to do anything with any kind of substance to it, and they're hoping to ride this out, all the way to election, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, before we get into the censorship, Shane, let me give you an illustration. In the last 30 seconds, we've lost 150 viewers.
No way.
I watched them disappear. 150 viewers. There's no way in this world that people checked out on us. 150 people checked out on us. We are being throttled right now because of the thumbnail. What you look at the thumbnail, you see what's on the thumbnail.
Yes.
You saw what I'm talking about. You saw the title of this.
Yes.
The machine is trying to stop this program, and we're just a little tiny infantile channel when it comes to all these big channels out there. But if they're doing that to us right now, and I just watched 150 viewers just disappear right on our counter, and these are real-time counters, what are they doing to some of the other voices that are trying? And I'm just telling you, we need you to hit that like button. We need you to share, copy this link right now, send it to your family, send it to friends right now, because the devil is a liar, y'all.
And Billy Mitchell just had a great statement. How did it go? Silence cannot be misquoted. I like that.
I'll give you credit the first time I used that, Billy.
Good.
The next time, I'm just going to say just like I've always said. So, yeah, let's count that your credit. Next time I use that awesome one, I'm going to claim it. A good artist borrows. A great artist steals. I learned that not long ago. So all these people that are blowing up their channels, all they're doing is just copying what everybody else is doing.
Tell them where you learned it.
All right, so let's get back into it. Some rapid-fire breaking news today. This is crazy. More than 100 people were rescued today in the Grand Canyon after flash flooding. One, unfortunately, has lost their life, and search for missing hiker continues. Yep. These are the kind of weather events that are happening more and more and more, y'all. Look at this.
Yes.
This is crazy. I don't know what I just did. I tell you what, this computer, I tell you what it is. It's because I have to blow everything up because I'm so blind. All right, so
it's always dangerous for hikers that are down in canyons and in certain desert areas. If it ever rains, that rain is funneled through usually small areas, and it happens very quickly. And if you're not fast, you're going to have a hard time escaping all that rushing water.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Epic flooding is hitting the Havasu Falls area of Arizona, and a Utahn was there to capture it all.
Yeah, tonight he spoke with News Specialist Andrew Adams while preparing to evacuate. Andrew?
Well, he described a crazy situation where as many as 100 tourists were waiting to be airlifted out by the National Guard. Just getting to a point of safety was a journey of its own.
I don't even know how to describe it. It didn't even look like the same place. There was so much water.
In an extremely scenic place.
Look what happens.
Once bushes and trees were just kind of obliterated.
Conditions were suddenly beyond extreme.
I mean, everything was just covered in water.
Corey Middleton was on a 3-night, 4-day tour to the Havasu Falls area.
That's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. And we look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah.
What?
This is the crystal clear water that goes under the pool.
Wow.
Yep. Crazy.
That is crazy.
And you're not going to outrun that. So
no.
I heard a lady saying in another video
We
clip
begin
that when they heard the thunder, they immediately started to go to higher ground. That's what you have to
So
do.
this is the one that lost her life.
This lady is still missing.
That's the one that's missing?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, there's some hope that maybe somehow she can be found alive, but it's very serious. Her and her husband, he was rescued, but she was not.
All right. Well, let's get into the topic of the night, and this is not everything we're going to talk about. We're going to park here for a little while. I've done a couple of shows, if you haven't already watched it this week, with the arrest of Durov, I believe it's Pavlos Durov, the billionaire owner of Telegram app. They have threatened to arrest Elon Musk. They have threatened to arrest Pavlovsky, who is the owner of Rumble as well. Yep. So let's rapid fire here into some of the.
And Elon Musk, did you say he's been threatened?
Yes.
As well?
Yeah. The UK has said that they would arrest him.
Yeah.
So Tucker Carlson interviewed him, the founder of Telegram, Pavlov, but it says darkness is descending. Tucker Carlson reacts to reports of Durov's arrest. The founder and CEO of Telegram was detained upon arriving in France on Saturday. I think most people that watch this program right now already know this, but if you did not know this guy on the right here from Tucker Carlson, he is the founder and CEO. He's a multi-billionaire, very wealthy man, Russian born, was basically told to he created the app while he was in Russia, and Russia demanded access to the information of how to get in the back door of his app, and he said no, and Russia said, you either give it to us or leave the country, and he chose to leave the country. Well, he has lived in Dubai, he has lived in several different places, and of all places, he just, a few years ago, became a French citizen. So he was basically on his private jet going home, and they arrested him. The arrest of Telegram founder Pavlos Durov in France is a warning to online platforms that stand up to censorship. American journalist and political commentator Tucker Carlson has said the Russian tech entrepreneur was detained at the Paris de la Bourg airport on Saturday and will appear in court on Sunday evening. French authorities had reportedly issued an arrest warrant against him, arguing that insufficient moderation allows for Telegram to be widely used by criminals. The news of Durov's apparent prosecution has raised concerns online, including suggestions that it could be politically motivated. Pavel Durov left Russia when the government tried to control his social media company, Telegram. But in the end, it wasn't Putin who arrested him for allowing the public to exercise free speech, Carlson wrote on X, formerly Twitter, on Saturday. It was a Western country, a Biden administration ally, and an enthusiastic NATO member that locked him away.
Yep.
Durov's arrest is, quote, a living warning to any platform owner who refuses to censor the truth at the behest of governments and intel agencies, Carlson argued. Darkness is descending fast on the formerly free world.
Wow. That is quite the statement. Darkness is descending fast on the formerly free world. I think it was Pamela a minute ago said that they had found the young lady's body.
Oh, wow.
So thank you, Pamela, if that was you, for letting us know that. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we talk about escalation and things are ramping up, but I really didn't see this coming this fast. And it's kind of scary. And I hate to use words like scary, but
yeah, it is.
it is scary.
Yeah. Well, even in the live chat, I glanced over there and I saw people saying that they too witnessed 75 to 100 viewers like that go. And so you're seeing it. You're seeing it in real time. We know what's happening. But what else can we do? We're just going to keep showing up. We're just going to keep working.
Yes.
We're going to keep doing the best we can. But when it's, boy, I tell you, the preacher's coming out of me right now because I'm a little bit irritated. I'm a little bit mad because we work our tails off. I work my tails off to try to get this information out. And then you got these little punks in there. So, well, I don't like him. I don't like that one. I don't like that one.
Yes.
Those sissified punks that just don't like anybody standing up to them. But here's the reality.
It's frustrating.
The only way we win this, the only way we win at any level is not by the creators. The creators, all they can do, when I say the creators, you understand what I mean. I'm nothing. But the ones that's putting it out. We can do our best to put it out, but it's on the people. It's on you deciding, I want to help. I'm going to share. I'm going to make sure that I find avenues. If I got to create a text list and just text people links, and because the platforms won't let me share it, then whatever we got to do it, and that's how we're going to do it together. Because we're going down with a fight. We're not going down at all. But if we go down, whatever level we go down, we're going down with a fight. And that's why when Donald Trump stood up and said, "Fight, fight, fight," that's why they don't want you to see that. That's why they're pigeonholed and memory hold that whole picture. It's like it was everywhere, and now it's nowhere. And nobody's even talking about the fact that 5 weeks ago, they almost, I want to say, if I was just talking to you, I'd tell you what it would look like when the bullet went. But guess what? A few centimeters over, and it would have been one of the most unbelievable things ever witnessed on television.
Right.
Live. But it didn't happen. So they're like, okay, our plan didn't work. Our lawfare didn't work. Our going after his finances didn't work. Lawsuits didn't work. Tried to kill him didn't work. And, and here we are. And so now the only thing left to do is to stop people from sharing the truth. You better talk right now.
That was a great synopsis.
Because I'm
really
about
proud
to,
of you. Don't drink all that coffee. I might need some.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a great synopsis. And they probably have a few more tricks up their sleeve. I hope we don't have to see them and live through them. But yeah, it's going to come down to all of us. We can't just sit by anymore.
No.
You can't.
Can't. Not going to.
Nope.
Not going to. All right. So this particular article from the Burning Platform is more of an opinion piece, news place. So a lot of this is opinion, but it's also based on fact. He's calling it the Telegram super psyop. Western intel community shutting down free speech via threat of imprisonment. Billionaire predicts 2024 civil war. And this, of course, once again talking about Pavel Durov's arrest in France. It says here are the three main reasons why billionaire Telegram CEO was arrested by France at the direction of the U.S. government. First, it's important to correctly understand that this very unusual VIP arrest was highly coordinated effort by the United States, United Kingdom, Israel, and NATO intelligence forces. These are the three primary objectives of the Western perpetrators. Now, like I said, this is an opinion piece here, but I agree with these three things here. Number one, to coerce Telegram CEO Pavel Durov to provide confidential information on Russian citizens, especially various VIPs who are domiciled both in Russia and abroad.
Wow, I didn't see that coming. Did you?
Yeah, I've heard this.
You've heard that already.
Yes.
Okay.
Number two, to coerce Durov via the threat of a protracted incarceration to reveal the identities of key Telegram accounts which are closely associated with military operations in both Ukraine and Syria. These are things that are leaking out. This is not the only place that I've read these.
Wow.
Number three, to gain control of Telegram for long enough period of time for the U.S. perps to either seriously sabotage the social media site or shut it down altogether so that the Russian armed forces can no longer use it with such effectiveness. So, he goes on to say this, another article that he wrote, that he believes the United States was complicit in orchestrating the arrest, former spokesman, the Telegram, because he's basing this on when he was interviewed by Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, when he's talking to him, you can go back and watch the whole interview. I'm still shocked that it's still out there for you to watch. But when you watch it, one of the things that the CEO Durov says is that when his program first started blowing up and getting popular, the CIA came to him and asked permission to help him basically make his app more secure because they knew that it was a very important app. And he says on the interview, I immediately, listen to what he says now, you can go verify this yourself. He says, I immediately knew this was the United States government seeking a back door to my program. And Tucker Carlson says, a back door for the CIA, and you need to go watch this interview because he says, no, Tucker, a back door is a back door. Once the back door is opened, it's open to everyone. So we told the CIA, pound sand. Those are my words, but that's what he said.
Okay. You've been watching too much television.
Pound sand.
Actually, he doesn't get to watch television.
I don't watch
He
television.
works too
I was about
much.
to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's fun. That's funny. Yeah. So true, though. They're the last organization you want having anything to do with
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's where it's going, y'all. And look, everybody, America, the United Kingdom, the European Union, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, they all got people that want to control you. I don't care what the country is. I don't care if they're communist or if they're freedom-loving. Mm-hmm. At the core of the state is they want to control you. That's why everything we talk about every week on here is about control. It's about control. If it's digital, it's programmable. If it's programmable, it's controllable.
Right.
I mean, everything that we talk about, everything that AI is doing, everything our government is doing is building us towards us being controlled. 1984 is not a book.
No.
It was a prophecy. I mean, it really was a light version of what is actually what they really want to see happen. Now, have you ever heard of the country Cyprus?
Of course.
Okay. So Cyprus is a small country. I'm just going to show you. This is just a handful of things that I found in the news today. So we've already talked about all the things that regarding Telegram. Cyprus comes out today and says they're considering a 5-year prison sentence for spreading fake news and posting offensive comments. The Republic of Cyprus, a small nation sandwiched in between the Mediterranean, is proposing a controversial bill that would imprison residents for 5 years for spreading so-called fake news or writing offensive comments.
There we go again. Wefers, right?
Wefers.
We couldn't imagine how it was going to play out, what it was going to look like, but they told us.
Explain to our viewers what the Wefers are and what you're talking about that came from the Wefers.
Okay, the World Economic Forum, they came out. What month was it of this year?
January.
January of this year. Said the biggest thing that we're worrying about right now is misinformation and disinformation.
The number one enemy of humanity for the next 2 years.
That we press pause on climate for just a minute, just a little bit, so that we can shut down your communications and worry about your misinformation and disinformation. We're going to, anything you do and say that we don't like, we don't agree with, we're concerned about, we're just going to say that you're a threat because of misinformation and disinformation.
Exactly. And what she's talking about is they every year they come out with an updated top 10 list that's the enemy of humanity, blah, blah, blah. This is the only year in the history of the World Economic Forum. Think about this. The only time it's ever happened where they come out with 2 lists. The top 10 threats to humanity over the next 10 years, which, of course, climate was number 1. And then the top 10 dangers to humanity over the next 2 years.
Right.
And number 1 was not climate, as Sandy said. It was misinformation and disinformation. They knew this was coming.
We knew that they were serious. I mean, of course, we gasped and then we laughed about it. You can't imagine exactly how these things are going to play out, but you don't have to imagine anymore.
You don't have to imagine anymore.
There it is. What was the story you did last week? The British man, was he sentenced to 3 years?
Well, he's potentially going to be sentenced. He was arrested. The Facebook post. He literally made a Facebook post speaking against the Muslim uprising activity that are happening in the streets, and he was arrested. He filmed it. He filmed his arrest for his Facebook post. Unbelievable. But, they're always trying to tell us, hey, look, you're overplaying this. It's not as bad as you think. This is what they said. When asked if the bill in Cyprus excluded the mass media, the head of the legal services replied, I believe that the mass media has serious and professional journalists, whom I do not believe will ever reach the point of resorting to insults or deliberate dissemination of fake news to deceive the public. So, I do not think that journalists, the media you refer to, have anything to fear from this bill. It is so explicitly worded that it does not cover either the expression of opinion or criticism. Ladies and gentlemen, the nation of Cyprus just literally said the quiet thing out loud. They are promoting misinformation and disinformation through the mass media. They're the number one perpetrators of it. This bill is not to stop CNN or Fox News or MSNBC from telling lies, to shut them down. It is about you and me. We are the alternate media.
Right.
Do you know that when I told the Lord I would preach the gospel, some 35 years ago, when we started our church 30 years ago, never in my wildest dreams, I'm talking about, Sandy will tell you, I got some big dreams. I have always dreamed of doing big things for God and being a world changer. But never did the words ever enter my mind or ever come out of my mouth that I would one day be alternative media, that I would be a reporter. That I would have a show that was a news show that I was going to co-host with my wife, that people all over the world are telling us we don't trust anybody except the big picture.
This is why it's really funny. It hasn't been that many years ago that I would try to strike up conversations about the things that we talk about here.
True. She's telling
and
the
he
truth.
didn't even want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it. I'd be
Want
like,
to hear it? Sandy.
yeah. we got in a few heated discussions.
We did.
And
You see who won, right?
yes,
Just saying.
I'll go ahead and give this to you. You won. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you didn't give up on me. But here we are, Sandy. We literally have people that tell us we don't watch the news anymore. We watch the big picture. We watch some other people that are like us, that were sort of our inspirations. But wow, it's unbelievable. And we're the same way. I mean, we may have something on, like very seldom are we ever able to sit down in front of a TV ever. But if we are and we just throw some news on, we might watch news for a few minutes and just to see what they're saying. And by the way, we feel the same way about Fox News as we do all the others. They're all programmable as well. And we understand that.
Yes.
But when something breaks, we're just like you. We got certain people that we go to.
Certain people we look to, and we're depending on them to know what they're talking about. And some of them actually have connections with certain people. I mean,
exactly.
We're mainly reporting the news that we get from alt news sources. Some people we listen to, though, they actually have different connections that can help them know what's going on.
And people that are on the inside, people that are, I mean, there's some good people in Washington. There's some good people that are trying to fight the good fight. Now they're outnumbered dramatically. But I'm thankful that they're still trying. I mean, there are some people that are leaking out information that if it wasn't for those people, we wouldn't even know half the stuff that they're doing. So that was Cyprus. Well, you would think of all countries, Germany should be the country that should be the freest country in the world. I mean, after what Hitler did, but they are run by woke people. So the German Secret Service, secret police, could receive unprecedented power by secretly entering and searching homes and installing spyware devices to quote-unquote counterterrorism.
So who is going to grant them this power? Because it says they could receive the unprecedented power.
Well, here we go.
All within this article?
It's in this article.
Good.
The Federal Criminal Police Office in Berlin, Germany, could be granted new sweeping powers by Federal Ministry of Interior Nancy Faeser to allow the police to discreetly enter and search private residences and apartments for the purpose of snooping on computers and other mobile devices of suspected criminals in a supposed bid to better combat tourism. German paper Der Spiegel obtained a draft of the law which said the BKA law contains the authority to conceal apartments. For example, to install espionage software on computers and smartphones, and the authority to, quote, concealed search of apartments. However, these instruments should only be used under very high hurdles as a last resort and only for combating terrorism.
Right.
That's the only reason they would ever do this.
That sounds a lot like taxes. Yeah, we just want to create or raise this new tax just so we can get this done. guess what? It never goes away.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is completely over the top, okay? Really? You're going to go inside the sanctity of someone's home? Okay, I understand. We do actually have terrorists, okay? But this is probably going to be some kind of sweeping move to allow you to go into anybody's home.
Right.
Because you can label them a terrorist.
And keep in mind, we have said it over and over again here on this program, that when you read about another country, now we have people that watch us, I'm pretty sure, from Germany. So this applies directly to you. But most of the people that are hearing articles like this are not in Germany, whether in America or different places around the world. So it's so easy to say, Sandy, it's so easy for people nowadays when they're watching programs like this to say, well, that's Germany. They're all a part of one world system.
Yes.
And that world system is, okay, this is what we all want. So everybody can't test this at the same time. Everybody can't start this. Somebody's got to be the bad guy. Somebody's got to be the lab rat. So if you'll notice, when you watch this program, it seems like different countries are trying this, and that country tried that, but it would never do this, and this country's trying. But when you look at the totality of it, you see that they're all doing the same thing. So the rest of the world is watching Germany. Somehow Germany got, okay, you're the one that's going to do this. And we're all going to condemn you. We're all going to make shows about, we can't believe that they're doing that. That would never happen here. But we are sitting back just thinking, oh man, I hope this works, because if this works and y'all get away with it, this is what we really want to do.
Yes.
That's even more than what you're doing. But we're gonna wait to see if this works. What's your thought on that?
I can totally see that. And the problem here is that they really just need a Jack Bauer, because he will find some terrorists.
Not the woke Jack Bauer that came up at the very end.
No,
Y'all, that was
not that one.
That was a great show, and then they messed him up.
Right. But
Where are the Jack Bauers?
they need to go get themselves a Jack Bauer.
What's the other one? Jumping through buildings, movies. What's his name? Jason Bourne.
Oh, I love me some Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne. And watch this. The two guys that played the two kind of people that we need are as woke as they can be in real life. It's just unbelievable. I said, hey, you even play something like that.
It's terrible.
Can you handle a little bit more?
I'm doing okay right now.
Okay.
I might need a drink of this coffee, but
Okay. All right.
it's not like I'm barely hanging on or barely hanging by a thread.
Get you some caffeine
Yet.
while I escalate.
You got to do some stuff.
Let's escalate. Tech giants and AI researchers, imagine this, are proposing digital ID requirements to use the internet,
What?
but admit it restricts liberties. So they admit it restricts liberties, but they're still proposing it. So what's happening here? Let me come back off this article so that y'all are not distracted. Then we're going to go back to it. But here's what I'm about to read to you. This is where it's going quickly. The things that Telegram, X, all this kind of stuff. This is the first barrage. The second barrage is not to shut down the platforms. You remember the words that you heard Larry Ragland say tonight, because I'm telling you right now, this is what's coming. This is what this is all about. The platforms and the deplatforming of people on those platforms. You remember what happened to a former president when something happened in the month of January?
Oh, yes.
And it became a real big thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, an actual, still at that time, sitting president.
Yes.
Do you understand? From January 6th to January 20th, he was still the president.
Yes, he was.
The actual president of the United States had every means of communication with the American people removed from him.
He was shut down and shut out.
He was shut down and shut out. Okay, the most powerful man in the world could not stream a video, could not make a post, could not do anything. And I'm telling you, I was shocked at the amount of people that laughed at that thought he got what he deserved.
They loved it.
And they were not thinking, wait a minute. Yeah, I hate his guts. I hate everything about him. But if they can do that to the most
him?
powerful man in the world, what can they do to me?
There you go.
Nobody stopped to think about that. Well, I say nobody, but the people that was for it. So I digress. So here's a man who had to start his own platform so he could talk to you, called Truth Social. And now they've, of course, slowly but surely letting him back on all these things because they realized they couldn't keep him down because they thought he would never run for president again. They can't imagine that we're where we're at right now. So it was the deplatforming of people, high-profile people that they didn't like. Then secondly, and we're in it right now, it is the removal of the platforms themselves. If they cannot cause those platforms to keep people away, voices that they don't want to hear, they're going after the platforms.
You are laying this out perfectly.
I'm laying it out tonight.
Proud of you, babe.
Thank you. That's what we're experiencing right now.
Yes.
But the ultimate goal of this, who knows if this show will survive tonight or in the replay, but the ultimate goal of all of it,
oh goodness, brace yourselves,
is to remove you from even being able to access the internet. Period.
So how's that work? What does that look like?
Well, let's show you what it looks like. This is the beginning of it right now. So this is the beginning of it. Many organizations are already working on best practices for issuing, authenticating, and presenting digital credentials. Listen closely. The EU Digital Identity Wallet Consortium is a prominent example, and these initiatives can more directly prepare for highly capable AI. A number of technologies-based academics, including MIT and Oxford, and representatives from big tech companies such as OpenAI and Microsoft, contend that implementing a universal digital ID system should be put in place in order to use the internet and social media, which they claim would be used to stop fraud and phishing and guarantees one identity and promotion. This is a breakdown, which I will not do of it. You can go to the Wine Press News and you can read this yourself. But to summarize their proposal, it says anonymity is an important principle online. However, malicious actors have long used misleading identities to conduct fraud, spread disinformation, and carry out other deceptive schemes. With the advent of increasingly capable AI, which I'll show you that at the end of the program, which is true what they're saying, bad actors can amplify the potential scale and effectiveness of their operations, intensifying the challenge of balancing anonymity and trustworthiness online. Let me break it down for you.
Here we go.
This is a trackpad, okay? This is the best way I can illustrate. This is just a trackpad. It's just a glorified mouse, okay? But this is where it's going. It will not be long from now that you will be issued, when you say, I want Spectrum or whatever internet service, just so put into where you can understand it in the world you live in now, and they hook you up for internet. Well, right now, the way they do it, Sandy, is they bring in a modem, and that modem is technology that converts that line coming into your house to the ability to connect to the internet.
Right.
And then you can do what we're doing right now. Imagine, if you will, you get a modem and you also get a biometric palm or fingerprint or eye scanner that you have to agree to a terms of agreement that is a mile long that you ain't going to take time to read. Yep. But within it, it is going to say everything that it needs to say to shut you down. And then you're going to be so excited to get the internet, you're going to choose to accept it. And you're going to take your hand, you're going to put your hand on it, and it's going to scan your palm, or it's going to look at your eye, and all of a sudden you're going to connect to the internet. And you can go about, you can watch your cat videos, you can do all kinds of stuff and all this. But one day you decide that you don't like what you saw. Let's see how many viewers I've lost now. One day you're going to decide you don't like what this particular government is doing. And you don't like the fact that you can't afford to pay your bills and buy your groceries, so you make a video like us. And then all of a sudden, because of the terms of agreement, Sandy, the computer and the algorithm and the AI heard you say something bad against them.
Yes.
And all they have to do is identify your eye, your fingerprint, and your hand. And all of a sudden you get back on it, you're getting ready to make a big video, and you're going to expose the world, and you're going to tell all the world what's really going on. And you're like,
Won't work.
what's happening?
And they
you can't get
are
on.
able to do that now because of AI, because of the algorithm.
Exactly.
Because we could never employ enough people to police the populace, right? But we don't have to worry about that because AI can handle it.
That's true. I'm telling y'all, predictive programming, this one right here, she's the one that started telling me about it. And I'm telling you now, I think I'm further than she is. I mean, I'm seeing predictive programming in commercials.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just like, what did you just say? Sandy, get in here, watch this commercial.
It's true.
But I'm telling you, y'all, that's what this is about. Let's just look at the headline one more time.
Yes.
Just the headline. Tech giants and AI researchers propose digital ID requirements to use the internet.
And you know, this just is leading us right into social credit scoring.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are just going right down the slippery slope. If they can do this,
Yeah.
of course they can do that.
Yeah.
If they can deny you internet access inside your own home,
Yeah.
of course they're going to deny you a passport or deny you other rights and privileges.
Well, you know what? There's something else that they really tore up about right now. They couldn't believe it. You know, this week, RFK Jr. dropped out the race, y'all. Nobody saw this coming. And not only that, he endorsed Donald Trump.
And today I read the scroll on one of the news channels, Fox News. Did it not say he's going to try to convince others?
Yes, and
to
he already
come
has.
This way?
He already has. One of them joined him on the platform, and we're going to talk about that in 30 seconds. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Watch this commercial.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Awake.
All right, so in the live chat, Delane is saying, can we explain to the audience social credit? You want to do that? Explain to us what social credit system is. Started in China, and
I'll
now
do the best I can. This is something that at least the country of China is operating under. And this is a scoring system. It's basically to keep you in line.
Yeah.
They want you to carry the water and be a company man over there. They don't want you speaking out, disagreeing, certainly not doing anything like what we're doing right here. And to make sure that you do, there is a system called social credit score.
Yep.
And if you fall out of line, you could be in danger of not being able to rent an apartment or
buy groceries. Yep.
Get an airline ticket, passport, so on and so forth. And it's a system that is built to where you would become ostracized by your friends because by association, your friends or family members could also be guilty and have their scores to drop.
Well, I saw a video of them demonstrating it. Someone had leaked it out, and the two examples they showed was the first one, which seems like it's not that big a deal, but it was a big deal. He went to this vending machine, and he was trying to use almost similar to like Apple Pay, and he wanted to buy a drink or a bag of chips or something, and he scanned his eye or whatever it was, and he came back and said, sorry, your social credit score has had a demotion, so therefore you are restricted from using vending machines. That was one. And then they went to this interview, and this Chinese girl, she goes, I think it's a good thing because, as long as you're good, it teaches us to be good.
It teaches us to be good.
You remember that? She's like, it teaches us to be good. And then the other thing to pigtail on what you were saying is much like Times Square in New York, we've got the big billboards and all this, in some of the larger cities in China, They have these giant, huge screens. And if somebody does something really bad in their social credit score, you know what they do? They put their face on that screen and they shame them. They shame their family. And they'll put their name up there and they'll say, this person doesn't love their family and doesn't care about their family and has put their family in danger. Do not be like this person.
Right. All this is to make an example out of you so that nobody would want to be like you and do the things that you've done. And this system is just to keep everyone in line by denying you services, privileges. It's a control system.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Well, let's get back into this. Secret Service today or yesterday pulled the Secret Service protection that had just been finally given to him right after the attempted assassination. They pulled it from RFK Jr. 2 days after he endorsed Donald Trump. So, so they're basically saying RFK Jr. will no longer be provided Secret Service protection. Biden and Harris are not even trying to hide weaponizing their government anymore. RFK Jr. partners up with Trump, and they decide protection for RFK, his family, and supporters no longer matters. I want to say that he needs it now more than he ever needed.
I would think so.
Wouldn't you?
Yes. If he's taking this stance and he's not just stopping at Trump, he's trying to pull more people in over to this side. So,
not to mention, he is in his speech and his whole platform is he's calling out Big Pharma. He's calling out all these different kind of things. Like I said, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't agree with majority of his policies, but some of them I do. And what did we just go through? The wah took over the world, y'all.
Yes.
And he was one of the few voices that was actually speaking out against it and has been very against it. And he is hated. And those people that are in power, they have they can do things.
yes.
They can do things.
They have means, right?
They have means. And so it's just sickening. I mean, come on, we're this close to the election.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. But wait a minute, watch this. You know what somebody said? Somebody said, but he's no longer running for president anymore. He was very cunning in his endorsement of Trump.
True.
Remember,
True.
he did not withdraw from the candidacy.
Yep.
He said, I am still running for president. He said, I'm only taking my name off the ballot in the battleground states.
So true. So
He's still
having
running for
said
president.
that, then how can they do this?
Exactly. Just because they can. And they can get away with it.
Wow.
He's still running for president.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
So the Democrats have come out guns blazing against one of their royalty. They've turned on him like, man, big time.
And it's not just, it's his own family.
Yeah, his own family.
His own family.
His own. Hey, they're even pressuring his wife to reject him.
Oh,
She's an actress. She's a very, very well-known actress. They're asking her to put out a tweet rejecting and renouncing her husband.
oh my goodness.
Y'all.
I had not heard that.
Yes. She had to make a statement. She made a statement about it. She didn't reject, but she made it clear that she didn't agree with his decision. But I mean, when you're pushing the wife to say, can you please get on the media and tell everybody that your husband is an evil man?
But it's just as normal. It's just right as rain
Exactly.
with those folks, isn't it?
All right, so what the DNC did to Robert F. Kennedy as he ran for office was disgraceful. In July alone, the DNC and their apparatus in the media demonized him mercilessly. Regardless of the perceived faults, he had a right to run for office, but not as far as the Democrat Party was concerned. They went back to his college days and started alleging passes at a babysitter in 98, talked about different things that's happened in his past, accused him of eating a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to give the guy credit. He's got a sense of humor. He did this video here, y'all. Watch this.
You know what I'm doing? I'm making steak and chicken for the dogs. I don't normally do this. But ever since that guy wrote the article about me saying I ate a dog, it hasn't been the same. Now I gotta work my way back into their good graces. This was my dinner. I'm giving him my food. the height of irresponsible journalism. I mean, I don't care what it does for me, but look at these guys. These guys don't believe in anything.
So he's got a sense of humor. You know, he's just like, okay, so just to prove to you that I love dogs, I'm going to give up my dinner and I'm going to feed my dogs.
Good for him.
So this was before he endorsed Donald Trump. They trashed him because they dared him to run for the presidency when the party bosses had already picked the candidate. 5 of his siblings betrayed him over it and have doubled down since he decided to endorse Donald Trump. Wow. So this is one of the Fox News contributors, Tammy Bruce, who I saw her the other night talking about how she's just been a huge fan of the Kennedys and all of that. She said, here's an open letter to Kerry Kennedy. You people are awful. Despite your family's checkered past and horrible behavior of so many of the men, Americans have stood with you out of loyalty, sentimentality. Thank you. And too often grief, despite the questionable establishment of your family's condition. And this is what they put out. They put out, we want America filled with hope and bound together with a shared vision of a brighter future, a future defined by individual freedom, economic promise, and national pride. We believe in Harrison Walls. Our brother, Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story. By the way, this is his sister. And here's Kathleen Kennedy Townsend. I've heard that name, but I've never heard of Courtney Kennedy, Kerry Kennedy, Chris Kennedy, Kennedy. I'm about to bust a kidney right now. I'm laughing so hard. And Rory Kennedy. By the way, you're irrelevant. No one knows who you are, okay? You think you're so big and bad because you put this out? No one knows who you are. Wow. Go back to, do they live in Kennebunkport or am I thinking of the Bushes? Go back to your little house on the water.
I don't know. Rory Kennedy is, I don't know how many people will remember this, but when JFK Jr. died in the airplane, he was supposedly on his way to Rory Kennedy's wedding.
Okay. Well, you alluded to this earlier about other Democrats, former Democrats and so forth. Well, former Democrat Representative Tulsi Gabbard came out today and endorsed officially Trump. And we see that, of course, she ran for president as a Democrat. If you remember the last 4 years ago, she was the one that single-handedly destroyed Kamala Harris. Former Democratic Representative Tulsi Gabbard of Monday endorsed GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump during a National Guard conference in Battleground, Michigan, in which she praised Trump for his foreign policy as president. Quote, I'm committed to doing all I can to send President Trump back to the White House where he once again can serve as commander-in-chief, said the retired Hawaii congresswoman and former Democratic presidential candidate who served in Iraq and Kuwait. I know that President Trump understands the grave responsibilities that a president bears for every single one of our lives, whether you're a soldier, you're an airman, a Marine sailor, or a coastie. He keeps us in his heart in the decisions that he makes. She goes on to further endorse him. Now, she's already, in the bad graces with them anyway. Yes, but for her to, she made the jump. Yep. And the statement is, it's leaked out that RFK Jr. said, you're going to be surprised with who else is about to join us on the stage. Democrats.
He said that today?
He said that today. He said that today, that there are other Democrats besides Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrats and current middle-of-the-road Democrats. And let me just tell you, when you push a Kennedy, I don't care if he was a black sheep because of his stance on certain things when it comes to the wham and other things like that. When you push a Kennedy to endorsing a Republican, what have you become? You better stop me now. You better jump in here now because I'm telling you I'm gonna get in trouble.
You're gonna go off on some people.
I'm still a pastor. I'm not a. You know how many people call me Alex Jones? I am not Alex Jones. People call me. They say I look like Alex Jones. They say I scream like Alex Jones. There's so many people. When we start
selling vitamins and enhancements.
Right now, I need this company.
Health food.
Wide Awake Coffee. Contact me now. I'll be your next Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
They look at him. He's like Alex Jones Jr. leaning into the camera. He looks just like him. I'm not Alex Jones.
He's a Holy Ghost Alex Jones.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'll give you that on that one.
Okay.
I'll take that. Not. I mean, look. Just hush.
Is
Just
what
move.
it
Move.
is.
Is what it is. Is what it is. Is what it is. Now I'm gonna show you something right now. I'm gonna show you something. I looked at it just a while ago. We had 560 people watching.
What?
It's at 350 right now. Within
Just like
2
that.
minutes. Within 2 minutes. I'm telling you, they're getting put in front of people, and then boom! Don't let nobody know about them. That Holy Ghost Alex Jones. Get rid of them. I see what you're doing. You demonic algorithm. All right. Russia is now targeting cities and infrastructure in the largest air attack since the war began, Ukraine says. Russia launched a massive missile and drone attack aimed at energy infrastructure across Ukraine overnight into Monday, marking the biggest air attack since the war began, Ukrainian officials said. President Vladimir Zelensky, you know that great democracy that we've sent over $100 billion
Exactly.
to that canceled the election? Let's not forget that. Canceled the election and said we can't have an election right now. Let's keep the dictator in place. The comedian that turned president and a few other things that I can't say right now. Vowed to retaliate against Russia for the attack during his daily address as he implored allies to lift restrictions. Listen how it always comes back to here with him. He says, the attack, blah, blah, blah. I want to get down to this one part right here. He goes, Russian terrorists has once again targeted the energy infrastructure. And it goes on. Well, I got to get to this part right here. He says, oh, man, I can't find it. But he gets down here and he says, what we really need is, okay, every leader, every one of our partners knows the decisive actions required to end this war. Ukraine cannot be constrained in its long-range capabilities with the terrorists face such limitations. He goes on and says, we need you to send us money. Basically, I can't find it now, but it's in the article. He says, some of you have pledged to send us particular military things. Well, guess what? You're dragging your feet, and if you don't hurry up and send us what we need, then we're not going to be able to make it while the baristas are still making coffee in downtown Kiev.
Yeah.
And the retirement plans are secure.
Yeah.
The garbage men's salaries are being paid.
The boutique's going to be able to stay open.
Yep. The mom and pops are open.
Yep.
We have shown you this here. Donald Trump said, I don't know if he can do it, but you know what he said he's going to do. He said he's going to solve it with one phone call in 24 hours. Man, if he can, so be it. Wow.
I hope so.
And he said he's going to do it before January 20th. He said, I'm going to do it before I'm even sworn in. He said, once I win the election, that's what he said. He said, once I win the election and I'm certified the winner, before January 20th, I'm going to end the war.
You know what I say? Bring it. Let's
Bring
go.
it. Well, let's don't forget about little Kim. He's still out there. And y'all, he's a nuclear power. In North Korea, Kim Jong Un oversees tests of suicide drones. Suicide drones. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un watched as new suicide drones took off and destroyed test targets, including a mock tank, and urged researchers to develop artificial intelligence for the unmanned vehicles, State media reported. Kim visited the Drone Institute of North Korea's Academy of Defense Sciences on Saturday and viewed a successful test of drones, correctly identifying and destroying designated targets after flying along different preset routes. And of course, I think this is of exploding on a tank of a drone, and I think we got a good, so I don't have it here, but I had a good picture of him in a cute little white hat that he looked like a clown.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so yeah, we have that.
Well, that's exactly what we need is for him to confirm that his advanced weaponry is going to work.
Yeah. Now, I heard this coming in this morning on talk radio. Glenn Beck was talking about this, and I was glad that I was able to find this article. This is something that nobody's talking about, needs to be talking about. China has now restricting an export of a key industrial and military mineral called antimony. also affects tungsten and other necessary minerals. So I want you to think about, let this sink deep within you about our reliance on China, who is an enemy of our nation. Surprise, surprise, the sanctions are backfiring. Going into effect September 15th, China has announced a ban on exporting an important mineral called antimony, which has many heavy industrial uses and is used to make bullets, lead-acid batteries, and nuclear weapons.
Wow, that's great news for us here in this country when we've just about depleted
Yeah, exactly. By sending it all to Ukraine.
our ammunition. God.
But look at this.
And why are we in the situation where we have to depend on them for these things in the first place?
Yeah, I want you to think about what you just said. I want you to think about our military is planning for a war with China, and China has hamstrung our military because we, as a military who is planning war games against China, cannot make the bullets to fight China without the elements from China.
Yeah.
This is our world.
Brilliant, right?
This is our world, Sandy. My goodness, this is our world.
Yep. Here we go.
Well, you know, you sent me this article, and I want to make sure that I put it up here.
Did send you this article. And you said, wow.
I did. Wow was my response. Because I mean, just listen, look at the article. There are no U.S. Navy aircraft carriers currently deployed in the Pacific. That has not been the case since World War II. The deployment of the USS Abraham Lincoln from 7th Fleet to 5th Fleet has left the United States with no deployed carriers in the Pacific Ocean at a time when they are needed the most, which we're talking about right now with China.
Yes.
The U.S. Navy is facing a shortfall of deployed carriers in the Pacific as the buildup in the Middle East continues. The lack of carriers has left a critical gap in the West Pacific. The departure of the Abraham Lincoln coincides with the change in home port of U.S. Ronald Reagan from Yokosuka, Japan, to Washington. The Ronald Reagan replacement, the USS George Washington, is still in San Diego and is scheduled at a scheduled port visit. So basically what this article is going on to say is that if something were to happen with Taiwan, which we have continued to say to Taiwan,
yes,
we got your back. We continue to say if China tries, we won't let them take over. Well, we have removed our naval conglomerate of ships to the Middle East. And here's my question. That is one thing that's alarming that it's not in the Pacific. But my question is, why are we putting everything we've got in the Middle East, outside the Middle East, and we have not said anything about going to war? And that can't just be for a deterrent. Yeah. To empty out the Pacific Ocean protection just for a show of force?
It's only been 2 to 3 weeks since we sent 12 or 13 more ships and several thousand more men into that theater, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yes.
So what are we really doing?
Exactly.
What do we really know is coming in the Middle East?
Exactly.
I mean, come on, y'all. Our military personnel, I don't care, there's only just the people that are at the top are woke. The military, the generals that are really combat generals and the commanders and the people that fight in our military are the finest in the world. And they don't move their elite forces to a region of the world just so they can just sit out there on the ship and show videos of them out there. Don't you do nothing because we're out here. Don't you do anything because we're out here. Yes. No. Ladies and gentlemen, they know something is coming in the Middle East.
Has to be.
What is it?
We talked about that last week, the point that you just made. I mean, how much money, resources, how much time and energy is it to get that many men and that many ships and pieces of equipment there? These things have to be constantly worked on, maintained. Imagine the fuel, imagine the food that it takes to keep all these people fed.
Absolutely.
Everything. It's really a giant machine that has to continuously be going.
It really is. It's unbelievable. And then, of course, we just had the Democratic National Convention, and the president, the current president, was the opening night, and he screamed everything he said. He was angry, he was bitter, and quite frankly, I'll be honest with you, I don't really like him at all in his policies, but I understood why he was mad. He was done wrong. Y'all, we staged a coup and removed him.
So what you think and what you have to say is that he was just venting
Oh, yeah.
everything that happened to him at the convention. I didn't watch it.
I watched it, and it was obvious
I
to
didn't
me.
watch him. I didn't watch hardly any of it, but I did not stay up
Well,
to
I
watch
had
his
to
speech.
for research purposes because I'm a newsman. See?
Right. And
I'm a newsman.
We did talk about this one thing. They know he goes to bed at 8 or 8:30.
And they kept
Why did they have him speaking?
They kept that dude up to 11 o'clock, 11:30 his time.
Do you think he was jacked up on some
he was.
Red Bull or something?
He was jacked up,
To be that wired at 11 or 11:30? Wow.
And he screamed the whole time. And I was just like, I feel you, dog. I know you're mad. And it was like he was like, okay, this is my last shot. This is my last time to
I will be heard.
I'm going to say what I need to say. And you know what? Several times he kept saying, he said several times, me and Kamala did this. Because, she's trying to distance herself from him. And he made sure.
Wow.
And by the way, you know what else? I've seen no one point this out. No one. He pointed out, when he's talking about Kamala, he pointed out that she was the first Asian American vice president. He did not mention anything else. And that, of course, what she's trying to promote herself. She's not even talking about being Asian American.
No.
But he said that. Southeast Asian American vice president. And that's all he said. So watch this. Biden is seen visibly shaking. And we're not laughing at this. This is horrible because we've both experienced this in our own family.
Right.
So we understand that.
The laughter was about the whole Kamala.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Her getting mad that the way she was represented.
Right. A human being is still a human being.
Yes.
And by the way, if you're breathing, I don't care what you say or what you think, I have to go by the Bible. If you're breathing, God can save you.
Yes, he can.
So Biden has seen visibly shaking when departing Air Force One.
We got Gabe in here.
What? Gabe Perot? What's up,
Hi,
Gabe? Gabe Perot. If y'all don't follow, let me throw him in here so y'all know who he is. If y'all don't follow Gabe Perot, y'all are missing out. Y'all ain't even living. Y'all ain't even living life.
You're not even living.
You ain't even living if you ain't following this dude right here. He's a young man. He's one of the young voices of the world.
Powerful young man.
So we appreciate you, Gabe. I was on his show. He's going to be on our show very soon, too, and you'll get to know him more. Biden seen visibly shaking when departing Air Force One after DNC speech. White House schedule is nearly empty. Do you know he left the convention, went straight to California? He gave his convention speech and then got on a plane that night, went to California, was on vacation all the way up. Now, think about this. Until today, he gets on a plane headed to vacation in Delaware. He's not doing anything. Yeah. He is still the president.
He's phoning it in.
Who is running
for the
this
rest
country?
Of the term? They've already told us. There's a committee. It's a committee of people.
Is that really why they hate Trump so much? Because Trump, I know.
Because he actually goes to the morning meetings.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what he did today?
What?
I don't even have intent to tell you this today.
What?
They came to him. What you talking about? Trump, they ain't nobody like Trump. Okay, I know I'm sounding like I'm a Trump fanboy. I'm not, but I'm just telling you, they've never seen anybody like this. No other human being would do what he did today. Let me tell you what he did today. They came to him today, since it's so close to the election, and this is standard, this is par for the course. They said, it's so close to the election, it's a good chance you could be the president, so we want to start giving you daily intelligence reports. See, when Biden was running against Trump, he started getting them.
Yes.
So they start, because they don't want the president to become president and have no idea what's going on in the world.
Sure.
So if you're one of the leading candidates, they came to him today and said, it's time, Mr. Trump, for us to start giving you intelligence report. And Trump said, I don't want them. Don't tell me anything. Go away.
Oh, my goodness.
He literally did. I saw him talking about it. He said, I know what you're doing. I learned it when I was president.
Wow.
You want to tell me stuff that you tell me is confidential, and I listen to it, and then you leak it to the press a different way, and then you accuse me of leaking it. He said, so you know what? I got my own intelligence. This is what he said.
I got my own intelligence.
This is what he said today. He goes, I already know what's going on.
Wow.
I don't need you to tell me what's going on. I got my own intelligence.
Does he have Mossad over here working for him?
I'm just like, who are you, man?
Updating him, giving him intelligence on our country?
Crazy. All right, so here's another thing. It's just another, our government is so efficient. NASA, y'all.
You know what they call NASA, don't you?
Can you say it?
Never a straight answer.
Hey, I like that. I gotta give you a good one there.
Seriously, I've heard
It
that
is
for
true.
years.
That is true. I forgot it, but I have heard that. NASA never straight, and that is true. And down in the comment section in the live chat, do you believe we really went to the moon?
Oh, here we go. We're going to do that. We're doing that tonight.
Who believes we really went to the moon? Tell me.
That seems like it might be a show unto itself.
Yes. NASA decides to bring Starliner spacecraft back to Earth without crew.
Okay.
So NASA Administrator Bill Nelson and leadership participants are having this conference here, and it says NASA will return Boeing's. Boy, I tell you what, Boeing, how are they still in business? Boeing's Starliner to Earth without the astronauts. Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams aboard the spacecraft. The agency announced Saturday. Sunni? Okay, what did I say?
Sonny.
Sunni. That's right. Okay.
Go back up. Let me see that patch. Is this the patch?
That's the patch for
I always love
the
to
Starliner.
look at the patches that they have.
That's the Starliner. Let me zoom in for you a little bit there so you can see a little bit better. There's the Starliner.
Looky.
But this is what they said. They said that the uncrewed return allows NASA and Boeing to continue gathering testing data on Starliner during its upcoming flight home while not accepting more risk than necessary from its crew. Spaceflight is risky, is what they said.
You think?
Yeah. Even at its safest and most routine, a test flight by nature is neither safe nor routine. The decision to keep Butch and Sunni aboard the International Space Station and bring Boeing's Starliner home uncrewed is a result of our commitment to safety, our core value, and our North Star. I'm grateful to both the NASA and Boeing teams to all their incredible and detailed work. But here's the thing that they don't want to talk about. Boeing employees are humiliated that upstart rival SpaceX, owned by none other than enemy of the nations in the world, Elon Musk, will have to rescue the astronauts stuck in space. They are saying this is shameful.
Why are we just now coming to this conclusion? We've been here already for a while. We've been, if not here, working to this place, right?
Exactly. Boeing's employees are humiliated after NASA announced that 2 astronauts have been stranded on the International Space Station by the company's troubled Starliner space capsule will have to be rescued by Elon Musk, upstart rival SpaceX. He's either a world changer that's going to save us, not the savior of the world, don't get me wrong.
Or he's part of the instrument
Or
that
he's
is
the
going to
Antichrist.
destroy us.
Or he's the Antichrist, y'all.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't really have a robot army somewhere in a warehouse just waiting.
He does have a robot army in a warehouse. He's building robots right now.
Is he going to release them on us, though? That's what I'm saying.
He's building the robots right now, and he's putting chips in our brains. But yet, he's also giving us free speech.
Yeah.
So he's not all bad, right? Okay, so Butch Wilmore and Sunni Williams went up to the ISS. It says that it was supposed to be an 8-day mission. Now, if you needed any further evidence to settle your heart that the government is efficient and what they tell you need to believe, they went up in June for an 8-day mission. They're still up there. And we'll have to wait another 6 months until a SpaceX Crew Dragon, this is the year of the Dragon too, by the way, and there's a brand new book coming out, having a brain freeze,
Another one?
yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the author that's
Sorry.
Come on, he's the prophecy guy. He writes all the books about the...
Oh, Jonathan Cahn?
Jonathan Cahn. His book is called something about the dragon. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting. But watch this. It says that the spacecraft can carry them home safely because the original ride is leaking helium and has problems with its thrusters. The Florida-based staffer with Boeing space program said the decision was the latest blow to the aerospace giant, which is already suffering backlash from a slew of commercial flight incidents. So here they are. They're like, hey, I'm thinking almost like Gilligan's Island, but it was a 3-hour tour, right? A 3-hour tour.
But
this was an 8-day tour.
Movies do come to mind, right?
It does.
Space movies.
Space movies, it does.
Come to mind.
Haven't we seen this movie? I think we've seen this movie.
Well,
they set sail on an 8-day cruise. But something happened. I can't forget that. If I'm going to do something, I need to know the song. I keep forgetting
that would be good.
That would be good.
Delane says Dragon's Prophecy. So
Dragon's Prophecies. Okay.
Y'all be looking for that.
All right. So let's rapid fire here because we got to get to Uncle Jimmy. But hey, here's good news. Massachusetts town has instituted a curfew to prevent the spread of a deadly mosquito-borne illness, EEE. Will conduct aerial sprayings. I think we've seen this movie as well.
Wow.
Drones coming through your neighborhood. Psst. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for your own good. We are here to help. The government is here. We are here to help. Stay in your homes as the kind, sweet little drones fly back by your backyard.
Okay,
and spray.
You're being funny, but that series, Last Ship, is that what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're right.
When it got to the end, that was their idea to treat and to, get the cure to everybody is to fly a plane over them.
We need to go back and watch that
and spray it. So,
if y'all know the series we're talking about, it was 3 seasons, 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think it.
And it was
3.
it opens up, man. The first season was great. It opens up. They're in this ship and they're at Antarctica or something, and they don't know that it's called the last ship because the whole world, while they're up there on this mission, has died. Or either died or every government has shut.
Many people has died
and
because of some kind of outbreak.
And whatever this disease is, because of where they were, it didn't make it to it. And it's the only last ship. So the whole premise was they're fighting against this virus. And you're right.
And they had that scientist on board who actually ended up coming up with a cure.
Yeah. And they had to do it by drones, by spraying. So now we have American cities issuing curfews for a mosquito-bound disease that nobody's talking about, and they're already spraying our cities while we're talking about all this other stuff that's going on in the news that means nothing.
Lisa Gilliland says, I've created a conspiracy monster.
Who said that?
Lisa Gilliland.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I don't know about that, but you definitely don't want to get him started down some rabbit trail because you do not know where we will end up.
Oh, she's saying you created it. I thought she was saying she created it. I couldn't understand how she created me as a monster, but she's talking about you creating me a monster.
Yes.
I get it. Look, I got a lot going on in my mind right now. I want to say this. Lisa, that's for you, Lisa.
The skeeter disease.
The skeeter disease.
I thought you were, I'm sorry. This past weekend, was it Connecticut that had all the flooding?
Don't know.
This is Massachusetts.
This is Massachusetts, yeah.
So I thought this was...
Which is where Joe Biden's going for vacation.
I thought this was
he's
result
Delaware.
of the flooding. The mosquitoes are...
No. That's on the other side of the country. But watch this. I'm so... Oh, Lord. Okay, so...
Massachusetts and Connecticut.
What'd I say?
You said it was on the other side of the country.
No, I'm talking about the flooding in Arizona for the Grand Canyon.
I'm talking
about the Grand Canyon. I know those are on the same side of the country. Okay, I know that. All right, but wait a minute, Sandy. Here's the good news.
What's in this coffee?
The good news is Bill Gates is on it.
Oh, is he going to say this?
He's on it. He is calling for something called a germ team. He thinks that we need to create germ teams in every major city. Well, let's just listen to our friend.
The team will need to regularly organize outbreak simulations, germ games that test the global response system and finds the weak spot.
Germ games. The germ teams need to regularly, continually run germ games. Let's start it over.
The team will need to regularly organize outbreak simulations, germ games that test the global response system and finds the weak spots. We do that for war, we do that for fire, we do that for earthquakes, and now we need to make sure we do it for pandemics. This team would keep their skills fresh to help you get rid of polio, get rid of malaria, get rid of measles and other infectious diseases.
Disease X.
So they'll have immense value even in the years where we don't have a
giving you some
pandemic
kind
threat.
of wow.
I think
Is that what he's
it's
trying
a
to
critical
say?
step to build this germ team, making sure we're ready for the next pandemic.
This man is evil.
He is evil.
He needs to be stopped.
Sandy, he just is a guy that started a computer business in his garage and called it Windows.
Right.
You know another word for Windows? I need one of them sound effects that goes doo 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 doo, just Twilight Zone, because another word for Windows is portals.
Do that again.
Oh no, I know what I can do.
Portals.
Yes, that's it. Emphasis. Portals. Say this. Carl.
It's my fault. Wait a minute. I gotta change it back. Uh-oh. What have I done?
Okay.
Okay. Back to the real world.
Well, can I do it just one more time? Because watch this. I'm not saying it's aliens or portals.
But it's aliens and portals.
That was good, babe.
Did you like that?
You need to send that to Tony Merkel. Hey, Merkel, we got some new material for you.
Oh my Lord, this is too much. But Sandy, let's focus.
Focus.
Let's focus, because here's the thing: we can still have the American dream. The American dream and all the chaos that's going on, you can still have the white picket fence, you can still have the house, you can still have the husband, the wife, and the 2.5 kids. If you're an illegal alien. If you come across the border illegally, you can afford a house, because California, this is unbelievable. This is fact. This is not, it's just some kind of crazy story made up to try to get clicks. This is really happening. California has advanced zero down, no payment home loans only for undocumented immigrants. I can't even believe I'm reading this. The California Senate Appropriations Committee has advanced a bill to allow undocumented immigrants to make use of the state's zero down, no payment home loan program. An expansion, the legislature says, would create a significant cost pressures. The social and economic benefits of home ownership should be available to everyone. As such, the California Dream for All program should be available to all, wrote bill author Joaquin Arabula. When undocumented individuals are excluded from such programs, they miss out on crucial methods of securing financial security and personal stability for themselves and their family.
Wow.
What in the world? So if you're an undocumented immigrant or illegal alien, which is what it really is, and you come into our country, we got visas waiting on you, we got buses waiting on you, we got airline tickets waiting on you, we got health care waiting on you, we got welfare waiting on you, and now...
No, we're going to give them a cell phone and a debit card that's loaded with like thousands of dollars on it already.
And hardworking Americans can afford to make a down payment.
What's that area in LA where there's so many people living on the streets?
Yeah.
How about go down there and offer them that sweet deal?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They need somewhere to live too.
But you know that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen.
Probably not.
All right, so let's rapid fire what's going on in the cultural world that we live in. Todd Sarnes reports, look at this logo. That's unacceptable. You can give a free loan and a free house, free money to illegal aliens, but you can't have a name and a logo for a high school that has something that resembles a cross.
Exactly.
School is ordered to remove cross from mascot logo. The Spartans are under attack in North Carolina. The South Caldwell High School Spartans drew the ire of atheists over its logo. The logo features a modified T that resembles a cross. I want you to read this one thing, right? This one thing that I read down here that it says that they say, the atheists want the logo scrubbed from the wall of the high school gymnasium and anywhere else it might appear. Quote, the mascot redesign and highly prominent display violates not only the constitutional prohibition against preferring religion over non-religion or Christianity over any other faith, the atheist wrote. It is the constitutional duty. Listen to the mindset of these people. It is the constitutional duty of every public school to remain secular in all forms. Can I tell you something? Number one, it is not in the Constitution. Separation of church and state is not in the Constitution. Freedom of religion is in the Constitution. And furthermore, I know everybody can't do this, but if you can get your children out of public school,
I was just about to
get
say
them
that.
out.
Absolutely. I know it's tough. It would take a lot of planning for some people, but I know more and more people who are doing that, and they're doing homeschooling, or maybe they're doing Christian school. Listen, it's a great idea. It's a good plan. If you can do it, do it.
If you can do it, do it. Wall Street Journal is lauding and appreciating the fact that Americans are now becoming extreme renters who own nothing.
Weffers again. It's the Weffers.
Them old weffers and heifers.
This is the World Economic Forum. You will own nothing and be happy.
Yep, that's right.
Why will you be happy? Because you're going to be taking all kinds of drugs.
Including their renting their clothes. With everything becoming so expensive and inflated in the United States and Western nations combined in severe home affordability crisis and companies shifting their models to reflect subscription, renting, and leasing services. Think about how many times you tried to buy something, you can't buy it anymore. You have to pay for it for a subscription now. And that is happening more and more in software and in the internet world.
Right.
More and more people are becoming forever renters who own nothing, to the extreme and where some no longer even own basics such as the shirts off their backs, utensils, and other common items that normally would be owned. Now, it wasn't that long ago, and there it is, the 8 prediction for the world in 2030. I think maybe we need to play that. We haven't played that in a long time.
I think we should.
We always get flagged when we do that, so I'm just taking a chance. I'm probably already flagged, so why not?
Do it.
I'm just going to mute it. That way I won't get flagged because it's the music that always gets me. So here it is. You'll own nothing, and you'll be happy. This was put out by the World Economic Forum. Whatever you want, you'll rent.
Delivered to
and
your
it will be
home
delivered
by
by
drone.
Hey, we laughed at that, but look, the U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower. A handful of countries will dominate, and it goes on to say, you won't die waiting for an organ donor. Watch this next part. We won't transplant
print you one.
We'll print you new ones instead, and you'll eat much less meat, if any.
Because you're going to be eating bugs.
Exactly.
You're going to eat the bugs.
Meat will be an occasional treat, not a staple. And 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. This is all their predictions. We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees, in other words, called illegal immigrants. Polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide, and there will be a global price on carbon. This will help make fossil fuels history. You could be preparing to go to Mars by 2030. Scientists will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space, the start of a journey to find alien life. Western values will have been tested to the breaking point, and checks and balances that underpin our democracies must not be forgotten. And that's their plan for Agenda 2030. So Sandy, we covered not long ago, there's an apartment complex in New York that is the model where down in the basement, down in the foyer, I should say, when you come in, they showed it. There was a case, it was a locked case with a key code and digital ID entrance where you could rent irons, ironing boards.
Could you get an Instant Pot?
Yeah, you could. Crock pots.
What about a panini?
I mean, they're all the things you need to cook.
Panini makers.
Toasters, Because they're like, I live in this little tiny hole of an apartment. I don't need a toaster, but just ever so often. So I'm going to go down in the lobby and I'm going to rent a toaster for a day.
Hey, you might want to make waffles on the weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
This.
Hey, I want to wear this cool looking shirt to the club tonight, but I'm never going to wear that shirt again. So I'm going to rent the shirt and go to the club and then turn it back in, and I don't have to worry about washing it.
So go back to that article. Basically, it was saying people are being lauded or they're being appreciated and they're being elevated because of their willingness to rent everything.
I lost the article, sorry.
So,
but here's another one that will go along with it. I accidentally deleted that article, sorry. You own nothing. Environmentalists are now coming, Sandy, for your refrigerator. Do you really want me to go there? You know what the enemy of now is? Refrigeration. The entire goal of the environmental left is full-on communism. They wrap their ideology in a green cloak, but inside it's Soviet red. And like all good commies, they want a society with two classes, the elites themselves and the rest of us. Look at this right here. In a new book, Nicola Twilley says we need to rethink the impact refrigeration is having on the planet. Quote, you really don't need to have a tomato in December.
I really don't need anybody deciding that for me, right? How am I supposed to keep my bottled water cold?
Twilley says on this week's Zero podcast, just don't do it. You don't need a tomato in December. You only need it when you can go outside and pick it. Quote, the cold chain, that's what they call it, that delivers our food is inconspicuous. But vast. Sneaky. The U.S. alone boasts around 5.5 million cubic feet of refrigerated space. That's 150 Empire State Buildings. And 3/4 of the average American plate has spent some time in a commercial fridge. Now the developing world is catching up. The author of Frostbite, How Refrigeration Changed Our Food, Our Planet, Ourselves, says the expansion of the world's distributed winter has wide-ranging climate implications. So the fact that you can make your water cold, or how about this one, that we can have an air condition in Alabama in the dog days of summer.
When it's about to be 98 degrees.
It's evil, Sandy. Your refrigerator is evil. It's killing us all. And by the way, if it's digital, it's programmable. And guess what? Refrigerators are becoming more and more. Do you know we don't have one of them refrigerators that has a screen on the front where you can watch TV looking at?
Yeah, I don't want one either.
Who wants to look at your refrigerator and watch TV? But some people do. And they've also got them now where they'll look inside the refrigerator. They got cameras inside there, and they'll send you what you need to finish recipes and all that. These are very real things that exist right now. AI is already in your refrigerator. But we don't have one of those. But we do. But I didn't know this when we bought it. We had no idea when we bought it. Our stove as well are both connected to the internet. Because when you try to get on the Wi-Fi at my house, I got my router, and it will ask you, do you want to connect to my stove or do you want to connect to my refrigerator?
Right. It's the IoT, Internet of Things.
I connected to my stove one day.
There you go. Because they
And
all,
I'm like, well,
they
let
all
me do
need
nothing.
to be able to talk to each other. Your appliances need to be able to talk to each other. You need to be able to talk to all of them.
All right.
You know, I could turn my Instant Pot on from another city.
Exactly.
So
have it ready when you get home. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's bring in our guest.
Are you ready for this? Uncle Jimmy!
Yeah,
Yay,
baby.
that's our baby.
That's my girl.
Uncle Jimmy!
Uncle Jimmy. He's clawing at the door. He wants to get out.
The supernatural AI update.
Who's that other girl you were with?
Oh, yeah, that was, what was her name? Savannah? What was her name? Summer? I can't remember.
I don't know, but we're going to find out. I'll tell you that right now.
So some of y'all, we got so many new people on here right now freaking out right now. Who is Uncle Jimmy? And what was her name? You dyed your hair some kind of golden brown, and you changed your whole personality. What was her name?
Sierra.
Sierra, that's right. I came back from a mission trip, and I was like, whoa, who are you? And she said, I'm Sierra. You left Sandy as you come home to Sierra. So that's a running joke. Who is Uncle Jimmy? Uncle Jimmy is the alien. Uncle Jimmy, we call him Uncle Jimmy. I don't even know.
It's his uncle.
It's my uncle. I really don't even remember how he got called Uncle Jimmy, but he is Uncle Jimmy.
Because I named him Uncle Jimmy.
Okay, all right. Well, there it is.
So we let him out of the closet every week.
Yeah, and
he's banging on the door and
but I'm
scratching
not.
the rest
But I
of the
don't
time.
have alien DNA. I have not. My bloodline is pure.
We actually haven't proven that yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
He-
I'm not a Nephilim. But does he have a cousin? Maybe we introduce his cousin real quick right off the bat.
He does have a cousin.
Is he with us?
He has a little cousin named Cosmo.
Cosmo, and he's not blue.
He's actually green.
He's actually green.
He's actually a green man.
But he has the ability to go through portals and dimensions.
Somebody opened a portal. He traveled. There you go. This little guy. This is Uncle Jimmy's cousin.
And he reflects his environment.
He does.
But we don't.
Anyway.
But anyway.
Anywho. Cosmo's out of here.
Cosmo's out of here. All right. So here's an exciting article. A leaked recording from Amazon Cloud CEO says coders.
And I love these, by the way.
Oh yeah, don't you love them?
I wish we could just continue having these leaks all the time.
Oh yeah, coders will be completely replaced by AI very soon. I believe the article says within 2 years. Within 2 years. Coders, which are by the way, do you know what a coder is? Coders are the one that makes the programs, that's built all the technology that we're using right now for you to see us and hear us.
But we no longer need you. Sorry, buddy.
Yep. Coders and other technicians have been worried that AI would uproot their job security and be replaced soon. These worries were recently confirmed yet again after a recording of Amazon's cloud CEO was leaked, who admits that coders will be out of a job because AI will replace them. Quote, he said, if we go forward 24 months from now, or some amount of time similar to that, I can't exactly predict where it is. It's possible that most developers will not be coding. Coding is just the kind of language that we use to talk to computers. It's not necessarily the skill in and of itself. The skill in and of itself is like, how do we innovate? How do I go build something that's interesting for my end users to use? It just means that each of us has to get more in tune with what our customers need and what the actual end thing is that we're going to try to go build, because that's going to be more and more of what the work is, as opposed to sitting down and actually writing code. He goes on to say, he articulated the vision of how AWS, which is their cloud service, which, by the way, the supermajority of all websites in the world are hosted on AWS, will continue to remove undifferentiated heavy lifting from the developer experience so that the builders can focus more on the skills and energy of the most innovative work. So basically what he's saying is he believes in 24 months or even less, the computers are going to be programming themselves.
This should scare everyone. It's bad enough that so many people are going to lose their jobs to automation in factories, in production type work. Now, we already know, and if you like to read articles, you can probably tell when it's not written by a human.
Yeah.
Just by the way it reads.
Yeah.
So they're taking jobs in journalism field, in just news field, and now they're going to be able to just do the coding. Yep. For the programming.
And we got several tech guys that are in here that we know that are IT guys. Mm-hmm. One of them is CJ. He says, I can see that they want to use Amazon Q at my job now. So he's already beginning to see it. Daniel Christian McCurry says, I work with some geniuses in coding, and I can't see us trading them for all hotline when we get mad at them for not understanding us when we start yelling representative for the 18th time. Yeah, I get what you're saying. but it is coming. The AI code thing is actually pretty slick. So yeah, it's already here. But what we've covered here that a lot of people don't really talk about is that AI is consuming energy. And guess what happened? While no one was looking, Amazon just bought a nuclear plant. What?
This is cray-cray, right?
This is cray-cray. Amazon, in today's world, not just is ubiquitous in today's world, not just for being one of the biggest and most established online marketplaces, but also for being among the largest data center providers. What Amazon is far less known for is being the owner and operator of nuclear power plants.
But they find themselves in this unique position of needing this because of all the logistical things that they need AI to be able to do. I mean, there's a lot going on there. Look what a monster company Amazon has become. And now we can't even operate off the grid. We've got to have our own nuclear power plant.
Yep. What Amazon as far as so yet that is exactly what its cloud subsidiary that we just talked about in the last article, AWS, did in March when they purchased a $650 million nuclear power data center campus next to a nuclear power plant from Talen Energy in Pennsylvania. On the surface, the deal indicates Amazon's ambitious expansion plans, but dig deeper in the company's purchase of a data center campus adjacent to a nuclear power facility speaks to a broader issue that Amazon and other tech giants are grappling with, the insatiable demand for energy from artificial intelligence.
Whoa.
It says the power source keeping up with the energy demands artificial intelligence has created. The strategy is a symptom of energy reckoning that has been building as AI has been creeping into consumers' daily lives, powering everything from the internet searches to smart devices and cars. Watch this. Companies like Google, Apple, and Tesla continue to enhance AI capabilities with new products and services. Each AI task requires vast computational power, which translates into substantial electricity consumption.
Yep.
Estimates suggest that by 2027, global AI-related electricity consumption would rise 64%.
This is insane.
It's
in less
insane.
than 3 years, we're going to have to worry about brownouts to power our homes because AI needs all of the electricity to control our lives or to creep further into our lives.
Reaching up to 134 terawatt hours annually, or the equivalent of the electricity usage of countries like the Netherlands or Sweden. This raises a critical question. How are big tech companies addressing the energy demands that their future AI innovations will require? According to Pew Research, more than half of Americans interact with AI at least once a day. That's now, and that's nothing. A lot of people don't even touch AI yet. Prominent researchers go on to say, and I want to get down to this one part right here, it says, explain that while training AI models is energy intensive, training the GPT-3 model, which we're now on 4.0, this is the last model, for example, used 1,300 megawatt hours of electricity to train it. It typically only happens once. However, the inference stage, where models generate responses, requires more energy due to sheer volume of queries. And then this is the part I want to see. For example, it says, when a user uses AI models like ChatGPT and asks a question of ChatGPT, it involves sending a request to a data center where powerful processors generate a response. This process, though it's quick, uses approximately 10 times more energy than a typical Google search.
Okay. I have a big problem with this. This isn't right. They are to power this monster, this machine that is ultimately going to control our lives and take a lot of people's jobs. We are going to end up suffering the deficits in our lives, in our homes, maybe even in our jobs, because, they're powering you down. You can't have enough. We've had to reroute this electricity over here.
Yep.
It's just another way we end up losing in this scenario.
Do you remember not long ago when we started talking about the dangers of AI, we talked about the fact that it's not going to be long to where people are going to be accused of crimes.
Yes, pre-crime.
That they never committed because AI is going to make them the perpetrator. Or the flip side, they're going to be able to say, that wasn't me. Well, I want to show you this right here. This is just unbelievable. Verge is a magazine that's a computer magazine. They've come out and they've said no one is ready for what is about to happen here. All right, what's happening here? Okay, so look at this. This is.
Am I going to have to go join CJ with the Amish? Is this going to mess
probably.
me up?
So look, I want to show you something here. This is. It says no one is ready for this. Verge has been reporting on a new reimagined tool. I can't zoom it in. I'm about to read it to you. In Google Pixel 9's new phone that's coming out. That's the competitor to the iPhone. So when it comes out, the AI phones that are coming is what it's talking about. Nobody's ready for what's about to happen with the AI phones. All this AI that we're talking about is desktop related. What is coming out with the next iPhone and the next Google phone is unbelievable. It's called the Magic Editor. It says it takes less than 10 seconds to create an AI-generated version of your photos that are crisp, full of color, and almost impossible to distinguish from real. This is what we're going to show you here. This is a picture of blurred out. This is a woman just sitting in her house. Look what's on the right side: alcohol and cocaine. So just in a second, it said, set this woman up and accuse her of doing this. Same picture. All right, yeah. Watch this. This is a beautiful lake. This can pretend that something has went into the water and it might be your loved one. This one here is horrible. This is just a shot of a street and a shot of a motorcycle and a body being covered up, which could be used to say, and you see the car in the front that supposedly hit the motorcycle. Is this your loved one?
But honestly, this is nothing compared to the pictures come to life you've been showing us the last 2 weeks.
That's coming next.
Oh, great.
Look, this is a subway and a bomb sitting by the subway. Do you see what's being set up? Terrorist attacks. Here's what you're talking about. Watch this. This came out this week. This child is not real. Staging the whole years of their life. Now, I'm not playing the music because I don't want to get copyright strike, but look at this.
It's not a real person, but they're showing this not real person aging from a toddler
all the way
to 36 to 50.
Yeah, watch this. All the way through.
We followed this non-existent person through their entire life.
Until they're gone. So,
and that's why this is tonight's Golden Chicken Award, because I am thoroughly creeped out at this point. I'm done. So we'll just drop the mic right there, and we'll be back in 30 seconds with a closing thought.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yes, we are. We are awake, and we need your help. Yes. Go to Telegram, go to X, go to Rumble. These are the three that we need you to make sure you follow us on. Even if you don't use those platforms. If you still want to just be here on YouTube forever, that's fine. But go subscribe, follow us on all three of them. In case you get a message from us, that's all. The only place you can find us is on one of them, because I got a feeling, Sandy, that's coming. Yeah. Closing thoughts.
Well, Tonight's another one for the books for me. I really hope I'm going to be able to sleep tonight.
You will. And by the way, let's just end with something really sweet and wonderful. We haven't talked about it in our book in a while. Go to our website and get a copy of our book. This is our story. This is how God blessed us to be where we're at right now, and it's an amazing story. I see greatness in you. You can go to LarryRagland.com, LarryRagland.com, and check it out, and then go there and you can become a partner with us, help us, and we will be giving you some information really soon on season 2 of the television program. So, Sandy, we love our people.
Yes, we do.
Proud of you for making it through one more night.
Thanks for that, babe. And thank you guys for being here with us.
And y'all don't get used to having a 2-hour show. This is another 2-hour show tonight. But some of the shows are not going to be 2 hours. But tonight, we just couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Yep. But hey, we ain't woke. But we are certainly awake. Wait a minute. Can we listen to Harper
We
one more
are
time?
woke, but we are certainly awake.
That
You
girl's
tell it,
got
girl.
it down.
You tell it, girl.
Woo!